Nintendo just gave me everything I wanted. And probably even more. Hello everybody, welcome to this new video. This day has been very mixed. Yes, the direct was yesterday, but it was in the night, so I was sleeping. But hey, I watched it in the morning, and let me tell you, this has been my favorite direct in a long time. So if you haven't watched it, please watch it, or at least the big releases, you know, the DLCs, the first party Nintendo games, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. Today has been very mixed. I'm not sick anymore, but I got some weird pain in my throat and other personal things. Let's start with the video. So, we started the direct with Pikmin 4's new trailer, with actual gameplay this time. And how is this running on a Switch? A Nintendo Switch, a almost 6-year-old console, little handheld console, not much more powerful than the Wii U. It just looks beautiful. We're at the point where Nintendo just mastered the hardware and the performance and things of the Switch. And yeah, the Switch is almost 6 years old, but they can pull stuff like this. And then I'm starting to doubt when the next Nintendo console will come, because how can they make something like this? We got gameplay, a new captain, we have a new Pikmin type, which I very much like, the Ice Pikmin. I think it just looks perfect, just like every Pikmin. I just like the Pikmin games, I just really do, and I'm so hyped for Pikmin 4. So, let's go on. Oh no, we are not going on to another game or DLC. We are going to talk about that Nintendo just gave us a release date. From the first trailer, I was just hyped for the logo, for the Pikmin actual 4 coming. But we got a release date. We actually got a release date. This is so perfect, and I'm so hyped to play it. But let's actually move on to Splatoon 3 DLC. So, first wave, it's just in Calpolis. It's just only the plaza. You have the same items from every store. I know with the Splatfests, it has Squid Sisters doing their thing, performing and all that stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm not really hyped for the first part of the DLC. It's fine, but the second part, they better make this the best they can, because this what seems like another story expansion, just like the Octo expansion. It looks cool, but we haven't seen anything. So Nintendo, if you screw this up, I am going to cry in a corner. But hey, let's go on to something that has been rumored for way too long now, and that's a Metroid Prime remaster or remake of all the games 1, 2 and 3. We only got one, but what do you expect? It's Nintendo in 2023. Does it look like Nintendo will give us 3 remasters? No, but we got one game remastered, and it looks beautiful. Nintendo, again, how do you make games on the Switch look so beautiful with the limiting hardware, the so limited hardware? But hey, I've never played Metroid Prime. I've played like an hour or something only, but then yeah, then I just stopped for some reason and never played again. So maybe this is the perfect time to replay it. because it literally just dropped today on the eShop. No prior trailers, just here you go. Here's another game. The game is playable on the eShop, but if you know me, you know that I am a big physical guy. I like video games on my little shelf. I don't know why I like physical games. Just they can break easier, but the cases are cool. So yeah, physical all the way, guys. But hey, that's why I'm going to wait. But not to the 22nd of February. I'm going to wait even longer because you already know what is coming 2 days after that, and that is Kirby. Yep. Another remake. Nintendo, you have run out of new game ideas, but that's not a problem because Metroid Prime and the Kirby remake look absolutely beautiful. And we got the Marxolor little minigame thing where I reacted while I was sick, by the way. There's coming even more than that. There's a new game mode coming, which I expected actually, but you can play it in co-op, and I like playing games with other people, so yeah, that's another bonus point. We have probably the last trailer before the game drops, and I am so hyped, but Nintendo, just why do you have to drop everything at the worst possible timing? Just when I just spent my money on FL Studio, you just force me to buy your Nintendo games that are so good. Nintendo, why can't you wait just a little bit longer? Well, waiting just a little bit longer is actually what we have to do, because Shadow Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom is coming later this year. Probably in October, I remember. I don't know the exact date, but we got Game Boy games on Switch Online. And yes, my Switch Online subscription is over. I have to buy Switch Online again. So Nintendo, that is good timing, but I'm going to wait a little bit for that, so I can't give a review of the Game Boy games that dropped. We got Game Boy with possible screen filters, by the way. The awful Wii U filter, dark filter for removing epilepsy things for games or something. If it was optional, I would have just accepted it. But no, it wasn't. Your N64 and NES games just looked awful all the time. I know the Wii U is my favorite console, but I just have to hate on the virtual console for sometimes. The other consoles are fine, they look good, but the NES and N64 look like total garbage. But the Switch has 3 possible screen fillers, I think. The OG Game Boy, the I'm sorry, but ugly green. I don't really like that everything is green. You got the best one, and that is the Game Boy Pocket. And you have the Game Boy Color. But I don't really like the color that they added in most of the Game Boy games. But hey, that's just a me thing. I like to complain. Let me complain. But hey, we got Game Boy Color. You now can play, if you have Switch Online and you're not the biggest Zelda guy, you can play one of my favorite Zelda games now, Link's Awakening. And not the remake, but the OG. I like the remake more, but hey, that's another me thing. But play Link's Awakening, please. I really like that game. We got Game Boy Advance. And let me say, the Game Boy Advance, I don't know why. Nintendo with their home consoles are good, but the Game Boy Advance is one of those systems that you're like, how is this so good? You have OG Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And let me say, the Game Boy Advance library is one of the best, maybe the best Nintendo library. I know, but that probably goes to the 3DS or GameCube for me. But Game Boy Advance comes close, and I'm happy that I can play my Game Boy Advance games. So we got a pretty nice selection of games at the start. We probably got, it was for launch, I think. We got Sudden and Minish Cap, which I still have to complete. And we have one of my favorite games ever, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. This game is amazing. Rest in peace, Alpha Dream, aka the Mario and Luigi developers. I can't take it. But yeah, that was the Game Boy things. It seems like a pretty good emulator. So I'm happy to try it once I finally decide to buy Switch Online plus expansion pack again. But the expansion pack is getting somewhat tolerable. It has value now. Like when I bought it, I thought, okay, N64 games, they're gonna drop like once a week. But no, they dropped once a month, and I'm so mad because of that. But the DLC that are coming, and more systems. Please bring GameCube. By the way, Nintendo, please. I don't know when you do it, but I want a GameCube Nintendo Switch Online thing. Virtual Console, my hope for the Virtual Console is already dead. So please make Switch Online GameCube a thing. I know you have an emulator. You used it for Mario Sunshine on the 3D All-Stars collection, which I am one of only 3 people on Earth who actually enjoys that collection. Sunshine and Galaxy, great. Mario 64 could have done better. Widescreen and things. But we got a new Mario Kart DLC wave. And let me say, the Yoshi's Island track looks beautiful. We are getting new characters. Nintendo, this is absolutely perfect. But now it's time for the Direct's closure. Just like every other Direct, we have a new trailer for Zelda. Okay, I get it, but Nintendo, how is this taking longer than Breath of the Wild? You have the engine, you have all the physics and things. So if this is not going to be one of my favorite Zelda games, I am going to be very disappointed in you, Nintendo. But we got a new trailer. It was fine. Now for the things I don't really know much about, like the franchises I just don't play or seem interesting. But we got Dead Cells DLC. I think that it was DLC. We got Xenoblade DLC. Still haven't played Xenoblade 3. But hey, I'm in that game. So best game ever. We got another trailer for Octopath Traveler 2. We got We Love Katamari Reroll. I think this was the GameCube game that just... This franchise, I know it as a GameCube game that never got localized. We got Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD remaster. I've heard very good things about this game. I know people who love this game so much, but I'm not one of them. I've never played it. So yeah, that was my very honest opinion on the Direct. Nintendo, please stop robbing me of all my money.